Hey, good morning. Thanks for coming back to the channel. This video is not a rant as much as it is a stream of consciousness um, driven by current events. And this is January 2022. Um, there is this mood of desperateness from a lot of uh, sectors, and I mean globally. If you look around, the things put in place to deal with the COVID beer virus situation exacerbated some things, and it was taken advantage of to take advantage of the people and to make an attempt to control the people. And the desperate counter-reaction from governments around the world is a clear indication of how strong the, the need to control the people has been. The punitive actions that are being taken in place have nothing to do with saving lives. Those people are going to die anyway. You could say that in some countries, some people did live who might have died, but you have to balance that with at what cost to the living. At what cost to the living? So today, you have the largest truck convoy protest in the history of the world taking place in Ottawa, Canada, with the Prime Minister of Canada and his family being skied off to some secret location because they fear that somebody might hurt him. Well, he's a little punk-ass dude anyway. Never should have been elected. He's just a punk, right? Don't know about his family, but him, he's a weasel. But the truckers are there saying, we're not going to take this anymore. And the Prime Minister has, as other governments have tried to do when there is a protest, it's now, we will punish you if you disagree. This is government and authority figures. We will punish you if you dare to disagree. Even if you have information that suggests your disagreement is legitimate, we don't care. Because your disagreement gets in our way of controlling the people. In Austria, across the pond, they're going to fine people $600 every time you miss an appointment for a vaccination. Right? It's crazy. Right? So there's that desperate need from governments to control the people. Then you have the standoff with Russia in the Ukraine. 100,000 troops massed on another country's border is not war games. It's you getting ready to do some dirty stuff. The rest of the world is sitting there clutching their pearls and saying, well, we're gonna make your financials harder. People forget, financials don't mean jack to the Russians. The Soviet Union in World War II lost 20 million people dead. Picture that. 20 million people dead. Do you think they give a crap about losing some money? When this is not about money, this is about power, and it's about land. And it's about, in their minds, protecting their sovereignty and their border against having an enemy right up against it. You know, and they are willing to lose all 100,000 troops to make that point. Don't make no mistake. They have been through some things that the Americans have never gone through in modern history. Yeah, we lost some guys in World War II. We lost some guys. They were soldiers, right? But we haven't lost 20 million Americans in 2 years, if you understand what I'm saying. That's a whole different psyche going on there. And we are at our peril if we forget that. Let's talk about America for a minute. So what's going on here? Me, I've been around a while, you know. I was on the ground, surrounded during the Watts riot, which went on for days, and the National Guard was called in, and they had machine guns, and they were shooting people. My mother had to be rescued from Watts, a social service building, literally rescued by the National Guard to get her out of there. My neighbors, where I worked, which was at Ground Zero during the Watts riot, the neighbors just kept me safe, fed me, made sure people who I knew weren't going to bother me. Then there was the Rodney King riot. I was on the ground in that one too. I'm a magnet ass for riots, I guess, right? But I watched, was surprised, the rooftop Koreans exercise their Second Amendment right and watch the crowd from aerial shot, watch the crowd just go around Koreatown, just go around it. Okay. When I was in Vietnam, I watched on TV the slaughter of the 4 college kids by the National Guard at Kent State. I disagreed with their protest of the war because I was in there fighting it, but I also disagreed that they should not have been gunned down. That has stuck with me. I watched the Chicago police beat the crap out of people in 1968 during the Democratic National Convention. The brutality from those police officers was terrible. Terrible. And that's in their DNA. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. Let's talk about the police for a minute. I believe we need law enforcement people. What I don't agree with is ambushing them and killing them when they're having coffee, or creating a call and then ambushing them. What people don't understand is that these police officers who are dying are not being shot in center of mass. They're being shot here because they have vests on, right? The people that are doing that kind of violence to law enforcement have been trained on how to do it. They've been trained on how to do it. If it's no wonder that people are not signing up to be cops anymore, because you can't put on that uniform and be afraid of your citizens that you're there to work with. That would make me crazy. And I have a lot of acquaintances and friends who are law enforcement. But I don't know that I would do that job today. Okay. Let's talk about the bad guys. It's still true that most of the homicides, the bad homicides, are done in five counties in this country. And this is a big ass country, right? 5 counties. And you kind of know who they are, right? Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, Chicago, whatever that county is, you know. The problem is that the people that are doing the bad stuff are now branching out into other areas. I mean, you have in Chicago, you have them jacking people on the Mag Mile, Miracle Mile. That's the richest shopping area going. You have shop owners who are afraid to have security, because the only way to stop a crowd coming into your store is to shoot all of them, or shoot enough of them that the rest of them go away. Well, they're afraid of lawsuits from the families of the people who were trying to steal your stuff, right? Or there's a lot of this going on now where bad guys are trying to break into people's homes or jacking people's car, and now they're getting killed by armed citizens. And that's the thing that I keep saying was going to happen anyway. As more and more civilians get armed and trained, because that's what's happening, not only are new people coming in, they're not bumpkins. They're getting armed and they're getting the training, right? Better training than what the bad guys have. And so what's happening is bad guys are getting shot in the face, right? And they're young. They're young. A lot of them are under 18. And so you hear the wailing and gnashing of teeth of the parents, the cousins, and all that. You didn't have to shoot him. Why didn't you shoot him in the finger? You didn't have to shoot him. You didn't have to kill him. Yeah, you did. And if you're the parent or you're the family member, it's your fault. Don't have a fucking vigil for somebody that just killed somebody and got killed while killing somebody, and then call it racial injustice. Let me tell you something. Poor doesn't make you stupid. Poor doesn't give you the right to be a criminal. And when I mean criminal, doesn't give you the right, just because you're poor, to go and take somebody else's shit. Doesn't give you the right to do that. If you're hooked on meth or fentanyl, whatever the hell it is, right? It doesn't give you the right to go take somebody else's stuff so you could continue to get high, right? The only gift you should be getting is lead in your head for being stupid. You know, do stupid things, win stupid prizes, right? The consequence of stupidity with violence, that means you are doing something stupid you shouldn't be doing, is you're going to be met with that violence and you're not going to come back from the experience. Armed citizens are not cops. Armed citizens have a different set of rules of engagement, which are very clear, very clear. The imminent threat of unavoidable serious bodily injury or death. That's it. And if the person feels you pose that kind of threat to them, they can use deadly force to stop you. And they should use deadly force to stop you. Not a warning shot, not yelling at you. They don't have to say jack. All you have to do is pull the trigger, and then you're going down. So if you have family members and you want them to be safe, and you know who you are, right? Don't be standing up saying, white people made my kid go crazy because he's poor. That's a whole nother video on that thing, and it doesn't belong on this channel. My point, though, is that the act of more people, more civilians becoming armed, as our constitutional right says, is going to result in more dead bad guys. More dead bad guys. And that's as it should be, right? Well, your cops aren't going to come help you. Not that they don't want to. They can't, right? So the more of us there are, I won't say justice will be done in the street, because defending yourself is not meting out justice, because that would make you a vigilante, because that means you would go out and do it without being threatened. But if you are threatened and you defend yourself, and the result of defending yourself is you kill a bad guy, or multiple bad guys for that matter, that's the way it should be. You're not a vigilante. Let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, right? That kid, forget what the judgment was as far as whether or not he should have been there, whatever. I mean, I would have gone there. If I had family and I had friends and I worked in that area, I would have gone there. I would have done the same thing. And it taught people a lesson, and it's what's terrifying. It's terrifying law enforcement and elected officials in these blue cities, because they know, and so does Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They know that the next time they go out and they try to misbehave, there's going to be armed people, and they can't become a threat anymore, because the consequence of becoming a threat is you get killed and the person that shoots you gets acquitted because of self-defense. That's the message from the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Don't go out in public and become violent thinking that somehow somebody's going to put the person who hurt you in jail. You threaten someone and they are armed, they're going to take you out, as it should be, right? It also means to you folks out there that are armed citizens, you have a responsibility and an obligation not to threaten others just because you're armed. Lower the tone. Don't be yelling at people. Don't be yelling at people. There's no reason to do that, right? You can express yourself, of course, but don't get in somebody's grill just because you're armed, because, that's just impolite, if nothing else. So things are crystallizing, things are polarizing, and it's not good. I don't know what to do about it. I can only do what I do, and that is to walk softly and carry a big stick kind of thing. Courtesy helps on the road, You can avoid road rage, right? Look at all the shootings that happen and you end up, where are they? They're at strip clubs and bars in the Black neighborhood, or in a couple cases in the Hispanic neighborhood, because that's where they go to party, right? And so if you're going to be going to one of those things, just understand that a lot of people there are gangbangers. They are, and you know it, especially if you go there. They're gangbangers. They're people that you wouldn't call your friends, and if they are your friends, then you need to think about a different lifestyle change, right? Because when the bullets start flying in places like that, once he leaves the gun, it doesn't care where it goes. And we're not talking about a mass shooting. We're talking about people that are just, they feel bad because they've been disrespected by somebody. They've been disrespected. You talked about their shoes or some stupid thing. And now what they want to do, what they're taught to do. You disrespect somebody, you have a right to kill them. That's the law of the street right now. Over stupid stuff. I mean stupid stuff. So, anyway, I think I'm done. This has been a lot longer than I thought. It was stream of consciousness, so bear with me if you give me your thoughts on what you think about what I've been thinking and what I've been saying here. If you like the content of the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as always, thanks for watching, and carry on.